All right, so we are continuing with this amazing sefer of Sichos Haran, and we have a new Torah tonight. So tonight we're going to be talking about Yetzer Hara. Really, so that sounds like that's something we're not so interested in, but really what we're talking about tonight is really just screwing on our heads straight, in order that we'll be able to really have a satisfying life, to really get what we're looking for, to really be happy, right? So it's actually a very, very important, very worthwhile thing to look into. He starts like this: Yetzer Hara, daima k'mi shehalach v'ratz bein bnei adam v'yado segura. The Yetzer Hara is like a guy that's walking, and he runs between people, and his hand is clenched, closed. Ve'ein adam yodea ma b'secha, and nobody knows what's inside. V'hu merama bnei adam, and he tricks everybody. V'shaya l'kol echad man yochais. He asks everybody, what am I holding? And to everybody that he talks to, the guy is sure that the thing that he's holding is exactly the thing that he's dying for. Okay, and that's why everybody comes running after him. Everybody thinks that the thing that's in your hand, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And so then after everybody's running, it's like the Pied Piper, everybody's running after him, and after 80, 90 years of running after him, so then he turns around and he says, nothing here. And it's the biggest trickery, it's the biggest lie, it's the biggest, that's the way he gets us, he convinces us that what he has is exactly what we're looking for, and that's how he gets us to fall prey for whatever he wants, for as long as he wants, and then at the end, so it backfires. At the end, so there's absolutely nothing there. That the Yetzer Hara, he tricks everybody, and everybody's running after him. That everybody really thinks that what you've got is exactly what I'm looking for. Everybody has his own shtusim, everybody has his own silly things that he's actually looking for. And then at the end, he opens his hands, and there's nothing there. Because actually nobody actually fulfills their desires through the Yetzer Hara. He gives another metaphor that sometimes you have like beams of light. That you, like in a dark room, so you see a beam of light. So if you try to catch the beam of light, so then there's nothing there. It's just imaginary. It's like it's really light, but it looks like there's something here, and it's just there's nothing you can put your hands on, nothing that you can grasp. So that's the way the Yetzer Hara functions, and that's the way people function when they're obsessed with the Yetzer Hara, that they're constantly running after the Yetzer Hara. So this is Rabbi Nachman in the Sicha. He talks about this in another place, that it's a famous Torah Chaf Hei in the Haran. So he talks about the fact that the Yetzer Hara is called the Koach HaMedame. He says that he starts the Torah that you have to stop living imaginary lives. You have to get out of imagination, and the tachlis is to release yourself from your imagination, and to live a seichel kind of life. Okay, to be in touch with our seichel, to be aligned with our seichel, and not to be aligned with shtusim, and not to be aligned with our imagination. Okay, so this is his whole Torah here, and at the very end, so it says that the Reb Nosson writes that when he finished saying this whole Torah, so he said that now we said all this, now we need to call the Yetzer Hara, we have to give him a new name. Do we have to stop calling him the Yetzer Hara? We just have to call him your imagination. So if somebody says, why didn't you get out of bed today? Because of my imagination. Why did you lie? Because of my imagination. Why is it this is that he's saying we have to start putting this into our lingo. We have to start realizing that all of the Yetzer Hara and all of the shtusim and all of the taivas that we have, it's all just imagination, and that's how that's how it's a way to conquer him is to call a spade, and like to realize that it's empty is really the first step to succeeding. Okay, so this is really. So it's a very short Torah. It's a very short teaching. But what he's basically saying is that all of the taivas it's all empty, and therefore it actually won't give you satisfaction. Okay, so this is something that we speak about a lot. That the person that truly wants happiness. So your imagination tells you that the way to reach pleasure is by all the different kinds of physical pleasures, and the point is it doesn't actually work. It doesn't actually do its purpose. It doesn't actually get you to where you would want where you want to get. So this was the major breakthrough of Viktor Frankl, that in psychology. So they were, since the beginning of psychology, so they were always trying to figure out what is the greatest drive in the human psyche. And so the father of modern psychology was a Jew by the name of Sigmund Freud, and he came to the conclusion that the greatest drive inside of us is what he called the id, which is the desire for physical pleasure, specifically sexual pleasure, and that is what the most core thing inside of us. That is if you want to be a happy person, that is the thing that you need to satisfy. And so you need to enjoy your life. And so much so that he was aware of the fact that we have some kind of higher calling, that we want to be good people, and he called that the superego. The superego. So he explained that where do we get the superego from? So it's actually not inside of us. It's not really innate. It's actually the superego is coming from the outside. It's coming from our parents, coming from society, that they tell us enough times, come on, to be a good person, stop being mean. So we hear it enough times that we think it's us, but really this inner voice is actually not the real us. It's actually coming from the outside. So in Freud's model of what a human being is, so it's actually pretty ugly. Like the real me is this animal that's looking for physical pleasure, and the part of me that wants to be an upstanding human being is actually not the real me. Okay, so after Freud came Adler. Adler thought that the highest drive in the human psyche was for status, okay, which in Torah Judaism we call kavod, okay, and then came Frankl, that they said, it's true that there is a part of us that wants pleasure, and there's a part of us that wants status, but the truth is that it's neither of those, and the truth is that if you actually want to be happy in this world, so the only thing that's going to give you happiness is only the search for meaning. Okay? So Shavua Tov, good to see you. So Frankl had it was really a revolution. It was a revolution in the way that human beings look at themselves. That's why there's a whole story actually with the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that the Lubavitcher Rebbe was involved in Frankl's career. That there was a lady that told him that she's going to Austria, and he told her, I want you to do a shlichus for me. I want you to be my agent. I want you to be my messenger. That when you're in Austria, I want you to go to stop in Vienna and look for Professor Viktor Frankl and give him a message for me. And the message is that you should be strong and you should persevere, and if you don't give up, you will succeed. Okay? And so she showed up to this. She found out where he lives, and she knocked on the door, and his non-Jewish wife opened the door, and she saw this Hasidic lady, and she didn't know, what do you want? And I said, I have to speak to the professor. She was real annoyed, and said, hold on. And then he comes out, and he's also annoyed, and said, what do you want? And he says, she says, I have a message for you from Rabbi Schneerson from Brooklyn. And she said, so he's like, no, get it out. What do you want? So he says that you should be strong and you should persevere, and if you don't give up, you will succeed. And then he starts to get dizzy, and he's whoa, this is too much. Her coming. He sits down and now start again. Who is this rabbi? How does he know who I am? How does he? She says, I don't know anything. I told him I'm going to Austria, and this is what he said. He said, you don't understand that I'm a professor, and I've been trying to make a revolution in the world of psychology, and it hasn't been going, and they're very stuck on their Freudian model, and it's not going, and it's been already 10 years that I'm not getting anywhere, and like I feel like a failure, and I was telling my wife last week that that's it, I'm giving up, and I'm going to retire early, I'm going to move to Australia with my sister, and it's over. But your rabbi apparently knew that, and he told me that I shouldn't give up, so maybe I'll give it another chance. And he gave it another chance, and that year something changed, and the whole academic world was more open to his ideas, and by now the entire world has flipped over to his side. That by now that it's unheard of. There is nobody follows Freud's ideas anymore in like what is the actual makeup of the human being, and he made a revolution in the way the human beings look at themselves, and that actually what we're looking for is actually meaning. And the thing that's going to give us happiness is actually meaning. The thing that's going to give us satisfaction is actually meaning. The truest pleasure is only the pleasure of meaning. So, this is what really, on a deeper level, what Rabbi Nachman is saying is that what a person that's running their life around their different taivas, so they think that they're actually going to make themselves happy, and the truth is you're actually not going to make yourselves happy. It's really not going to get you anywhere. It's really just gonna fly in your face. So this is true on many levels. Probably the most common thing that takes over our lives is our desire for money, like something to pay the bills, and people more than anything else they run their life around money. Okay, and the fact that the taivas mammon, that the desire for more money, so you become a slave to this taiva. You become a slave to the fact that you need money, and it's based on this core belief that if I have enough money, then I will be happy. Okay, and I need lots of money because money will bring me happiness. Okay, and I once saw this video of this Israeli billionaire, that he was telling about how the richer he got, the more depressed he became. That at the beginning, so he was a businessman obviously, and so at the beginning, so he bought a new house, and then as he gets higher up, so he has less friends, he has less time for friends, and it becomes like the houses are secure, so there's more security, so you can't even come in, and he has this whole estate, but no such thing as bumping into a friend when you're taking out the garbage, because besides the fact that when you're that rich you don't take out the garbage, but you never see real people, because everything is just you get into your car, you go into your private office and private entrance and you become isolated, and he says his only social interactions is only when he's inviting over his billionaire friends to show off his apartment to them, and that's his, and he's miserable, and he thought the whole time that he's making more and more money, he was sure that this is going to bring him to happiness, and he says I'm a miserable person. I wish I could just go to McDonald's down the street and kosher McDonald's obviously, and he just be a normal person, and he doesn't like what this money did for him. Okay, this is the I think I told you once in the class about the 5 levels of pleasure. So Rabbi Weinberg he tells an imaginary story that the 5 levels of pleasure. So it's a class that by Rabbi Noah Weinberg from Eshet Torah that he divides the pleasures of the world into different levels. Basically the purpose is to understand that the highest pleasure is actually the pleasure of connection to God. So that was his elevator pitch to come to Eish. So he says that the first level of pleasure is the pleasure as anything you can buy with money. That's the way he called it. So this is all the cars in the world, all the movies in the world, all the the food in the world, the restaurants in the world, the vacations in the world, the hotels in the world, also anything that you can buy with pleasure, like that you can buy with money, like even entertainment and different experiences, anything you can buy with money. So that would be in the first level of pleasure, and then it's the higher level of a second level of pleasure. First, after that, is the pleasure of love. And so to bring out this point of like that it's a whole different level of pleasure. So he would tell this imaginary story about a guy who's a workaholic, and so he has a lot of kids, but he never gets to see his kids because he's so obsessed with working. So he wakes up before they're up, and he gets home after they're asleep. So he never has any time with the kids. So there was a rich guy that heard about him, and he knocks on his door, and he says, "Hey, I'm your neighbor. I heard that you're into working. So why are you into working? Because you want more money, right? So I have a great idea. I'm a billionaire, but I don't have any kids, and I'm dying for kids. So how about this? I'll give you $20 million. That's more money than you'll ever see in your entire life. And I'll give you $20 million, and you give me one of your kids." And makes sense. And think about it. Like, you anyway don't know him. You anyway don't. Like, why should you care? You know. So of course he slams the door in the guy's face, right? But the thing is, what does he do after? What does he do after he slams the door in the guy's face? So then he walks into his kid's bedroom, and he looks at his 6 kids, and each one says, "Oh my gosh, I just gave up $20 million." And he thinks to himself, this is so messed up. Like, I actually don't ever see you. I actually don't. And like that, I'm thinking that having more money is going to make me happy. And I know deep down that it's just like that having money is not going to get me anywhere. And I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm just working. I'm just working. And the money doesn't make me happy. And the money is giving me this idea, this imaginary thing that's going to happen in some undetermined time, that I'm going to be quote unquote happy, and that undetermined time is going to be when I'm dead. And so, what did I gain? Right? So like, to just this wake up call to just like stop and focus, and like, money is not going to get you what you want. Money is that it's a lie. It's a big lie that I don't know where it comes from. I don't know. It's like I don't think that's what capitalism is per se, but like that there's something attractive. But probably Hollywood. It's probably the movies that make us think that if you're very rich, then you're very happy, and it's a bluff. It's a lie that the people who have a lot of money, that they don't. Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach would tell how when he was a kid. So they had that there were 4 kids, four siblings, and they had one hard-boiled egg, and then they would split the hard-boiled egg into 4 quarters, and we were happy. We were happy with a quarter of an egg, and it's all. We tell ourselves narratives that this is what's going to make us happy. This is what should we have. And it's all in our heads. That if we tell ourselves that this is happy, and I think when it comes to food, so like you have Rabbi Nachman talks about this in other places, that there's a certain that people think that the more expensive a food is, that the more pleasure I'm going to get from it. And so you have a connoisseur. You have a connoisseur in whiskey, you have a connoisseur in like wines, you have a connoisseur in steaks, and like a friend of mine told me that he became a connoisseur in hummus. He went from hummusiyah to hummusiyah. He became an expert in where is the best hummus in Jerusalem. And after his whole research, so he can never put into his mouth store-bought hummus anymore. Okay? So did he actually gain, or did he actually lose? so now unless he's gonna have his special place, and he has an extra 30 shekel, so then he's not gonna have hummus. And like before he did this, he enjoyed the old hummus, and now because he became a connoisseur, so now I actually don't enjoy it anymore. That there was a guy, there was an Israeli schnar. He was collecting money. And so he had an idea to go to America. He had an idea to collect money in America. And so he had a friend in America they told him, I'm gonna help you out. And so he gave him, like, he helped to bring him from place to place. And so it's really getting on my nerves. so he took him from place to place, and so towards the beginning he said, tonight I have a wedding. You've been working hard. Like, come with me to the wedding. You deserve a break. It'll be good. You'll see an American wedding. I'll give you musakim. I'll give you, it'll be fun. So he goes, and at the beginning was the first time he saw a smorgasbord. So he saw this is like here, go have fun. From table to table, they have different interesting food in every table. And so after 20 minutes, he finds him, and it's like he looks like stressed. He says, "What's going on?" So he says, "No, how you doing? How's it going?" I said, "Not good." So what's the problem? I said, I'm looking everywhere. I can't find hummus and pita. So okay, there's no hummus. Why? There's lots of other stuff. What do you? So he says, "Oh, I see. I know. You hate me, don't you? You want me to be miserable my whole life. Let's see. Let's see what I see where this is going. So you want me to eat all of these meat boards and all these sushis and all these fancy foods, and then next week I'm gonna go back home, and my wife is going to serve me hummus and pita like she's been doing for the past 30 years, and I'm going to look at my hummus and pita and say, I thought that this was food, but now I know what real food is. now I miss the sushi. I miss the and then I won't be able to. So that's obviously it's not as serious. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying yourself. I don't think, but to a certain extent, it's really true that like I enjoy a 25 shekel bottle of wine the same way that other people enjoy a 400 shekel bottle of wine. And it's not that the actual enjoyment, the actual pleasure that they get is not more. It's just different. It's just that they developed a certain taste that they only get pleasure if it satisfies this. And the same pleasure that I get from my simple wine, that's the same pleasure that they get from their fancy wine. But it's the same pleasure. So it's their prerogative. They're allowed to spend 400 shekel, but you don't pretend that you're enjoying life more than I am, because you're not. It's just you're just enjoying life differently than me. But how much pleasure? So it's actually I'm probably enjoying life more because I can have my simple stuff all the time. Not wine. We're not talking about wine now. But I can have my simple pleasures all the time, whereas your fancy pleasures. So because it's so expensive, so you only do it for special occasions. So I'm actually enjoying life more than you. Okay, so it actually gets you absolutely nowhere. Okay, so that's regarding the taivas of money. The money we said is a complete lie. Actually, it's a complete bluff. It gets you absolutely nowhere. And the taivas of fancy foods is really something which it actually gets you nowhere. It's imaginary. That the thing that the idea, the philosophy that if I have this pleasure, it's going to give me happiness. Then it's just a lie. It's simply a bluff. Shalom. It's simply a bluff that the Yetzer Hara tells us that this is the way that you're going to reach happiness, and it just like he says it with enough confidence, and he tells it in a way that's going to convince us, and we buy it. But the truth is that it's really emptiness. Okay, with regarding eating, with regarding achila. So I want to hear an interesting thing that actually the pleasure is only in the first bite. The pleasure of eating, the sensation of a tasty food, is actually only in the first bite, and the fact that you want a second bite to finish it, it's only just because you have this mechanism inside of us that it has a certain the eating that food released something that tells you do that again. But the truth is that it'll say that endlessly. It's like a computer, like that. We're built into there's a program built into us that whenever you have this pleasure, so it says do that again, and the second time you actually don't have. If you want to quantify, do I have more pleasure from having 2 bites or from 1 bite? So it's actually not more pleasure. It's just that I had this because I had the first bite. So my mechanism told me do that again, and so at the end, so it's going to tell me do that again the 300th time, and eventually there's not going to be any more potato chips, right? So eventually I'm going to say, oh, I can't because there's nothing more. But like, if I would have stopped after one, I would have had the exact same. It's like I heard this like regarding diets. Like somebody told me that like this is a good way to diet is to just you can have anything. That there's no such thing as an unhealthy food. There's no such thing as an unhealthy food. It's all about moderation. So if you can have whatever you want, one bite. Not anything. I'm not talking about people who have allergies, but in terms of the everything that the health people tell you that this is garbage and it's poison and okay, just one bite. I get everything I need from one bite, and so there's a certain this part of our mechanism that tells us do that again, and you're going to have more pleasure. So it's something that it's built into our program but it's actually a lie. Okay, so this like Rabbi Nachman is talking about like if we circle back to how we started that like when we're when we're having more and more potato chips and more whatever it is and like and I have this all the time, just like I'm not really even hungry, I just like finish it because it's on my plate, just because it's there, like or because I bought it already, like it's like you're not enjoying it. Why like who are you serving? To who are you doing a favor by finishing this? Someone once told me an interesting thing. Like sometimes people will eat something, and they'll say it shouldn't be batashchis. It shouldn't be like it's a sin to throw something in the garbage, to throw good food in the garbage. That's an avera. So I'm going to eat it because it's batashchis. So somebody said a very correct thing, that to eat something when you're not hungry is also batashchis. It's the same. You're throwing it in the garbage. This is also a garbage. When your body doesn't want this, doesn't need this, so then it's throwing it in the garbage to throw it inside of you. So it's literally it doesn't help anything. It's not you're doing the same event. so there's a certain a person we're programmed to think that if we do this enough, we do this do it again, this is going to make you happy, and then at the end, so he opened up his fist and he said, "Ha, are you happy now?" I said, "No, I'm not happy now. I just feel like I ate 2 whole bags of potato chips." and it didn't do what I thought that it was going to make me happy. I thought it was going to bring me somewhere, and it backfired. Okay, so this is the emptiness of Tavis Achila. Now, we said that before Franco was the guy named Adler who said that everything is about status. So this is a common thing, that people want to be famous, people want to be movie stars, people want to be celebrities. And so I had an interesting conversation. I used to be neighbors with this famous singer named Alex Clare. Okay, he used to live downstairs from me. So I had a student that before she became religious, she was into theater. She went to UCLA, and she was doing well, and she thought that she had a future in acting. And then when she became religious, so she realized that it was is not so practical to be a movie star and to be an Orthodox Jew. And so thank you. I'm sorry. So she realized at some point that it wasn't so practical to be famous, to be a Hollywood star and to be an Orthodox Jew. So she felt bad. She told me that she has this voice inside of her telling her that it's a shame that it's I could have been so I feel like I'm maybe is it really worth it even So I asked her. So I told her, I have a neighbor that did exactly that, and I'll ask him what he thinks. Whether that maybe if you want to talk to him, whatever. So I asked him, and he said, it's very simple. It's very simple. That tell her that the dream of every aspiring artist to make it, to become a celebrity. So it's imaginary. That once you get there, so then you don't feel special anymore. You feel like you're miserable. You feel like you don't feel like you're on top of the world. And everybody, and it's so annoying because everybody looks at you that you're supposed to be feeling that you're on top of the world, and you feel so miserable. So you have to just fake it so much because because you're not there. You're not feeling anything special, and it's making you just stress, and you're making that people are just involved in your life, and you lose your privacy, it's not like for the moment that you're on stage. For the moment that you're on stage, there's a certain adrenaline. of having like 1,000, 2,000 people that are excited about you, and then the moment that you get off stage, so then there's just this drop, and there's this fall, and you become a miserable person. And like how many hours a day do you think you're going to be on stage? There's like people like it's not your performing is never going to be your life, and it just makes you miserable. And so it's just a big lie. It's like everybody thinks, okay, but I'm going to be the Hollywood star, that I'm going to change the stigma. I'm going to be the first one that's not miserable. I want to prove it. First I'll make it, and then I'll decide if I'm miserable, I'll stop. And then I'll be the one that maybe it'll be different. Maybe it's true for every single Hollywood star until now. So when they made this, so then they were miserable. But maybe I'll be the exception. So you never know. And obviously put it together with all the money. So being a celebrity actually isn't so fun. Okay, so you're actually better off. Rabbi Nachman actually once talked about being a holy celebrity. You have Rebbe holy celebrities that with like paparazzi and stuff. But Rabbi Nachman once talked about being famous, and he didn't enjoy being famous. He didn't appreciate being a celebrity in terms of being a Rav. That he says he was once complaining that once you became famous, so like even something so simple as benching, you can't do anymore. You're like everybody's looking at you. Everybody's always like, and you can't just be. You can't just. He once told the story. It's a famous metaphor. He said that there was he was once making fun of these rebbes, that these rebbes that they're obsessed with the fact that everybody is into them, like meaning that there's people that there's rabbis that go into rabbinate for desires of being a celebrity, because they think to themselves like, what can I do? Like I don't have a good voice, I'm not a good actor, so how can I be a celebrity? I'll be a rebbe. I'll be. So they'd be like, I could be holy. I could like pretend that I'm really David Hashem, and so he tells the story about a guy that by some Chassidusim. So the Rebbe has like a private like it's a private room, like he doesn't daven like with everybody else. He has like in the corner of the room. We have so he was once so there was once a Rebbe that he was davening, and he heard some scratching on the door. So he realized that the Hasidim are so obsessed with him that they're dying to just get a glimpse of the Holy Rebbe as he's davening. So he's imagining that the Hasidim are so bewildered by him that so of course he starts davening even better, even more slavus and more dvekus and more kavana, and then it gets stronger. So he says they're probably telling all their friends, and they're all trying to stare at me, and they're all so obsessed that I'm the holiest man in the world, and so he's doing even more and more and more, and after 15 minutes, so he finally finishes Shemona Esrei, and he does this. Meanwhile, they were all waiting; they're all going crazy. And so he opens the door, and he sees that there was a cat. There was a cat scratching in the door. So it's all of his. So he says this Rebbe. So never he wasn't davening to Hashem; he was davening to a cat. That a person is obsessed with this fanfare, obsessed with fame, and it gets you in your head, and it just messes with you, and it's just a lie. It's just that, and so the truth is that when a person is in a situation like this, so the only way to succeed is actually just FYI when you all become famous. So the only way to succeed is actually to just pretend that nobody's there. When you're conscious of the fact that people are observing you, when you're conscious of the fact that when you become addicted to the way that they respond to you, so then you're not going to be able to perform anymore. The only way to actually perform is only to actually forget about it. Which, and if you think about what we said before, so the only time that you actually we said that in the life of a superstar, in the life of a celebrity, so the only time he actually has pleasure is only when he's performing. So the truth is that if you're going to perform with the consciousness of the fact that people are observing you, then you actually won't be able to perform. So the only way to actually perform is only to forget that. So even that, the only time that you're actually conscious of the pleasure is only when you stop performing. It's only for those couple of seconds when they're clapping. So that's the only time that you're actually having any pleasure in this whole experience. Okay, so this is regarding the Yetzer Hara, so to speak, of being a celebrity, and the Rabbi Nachman talked about another time about circling back to what Freud was talking about, that another big Yetzer Hara in the world is the sexual Yetzer Hara. That the Rabbi Nachman talks about this, that the Yetzer HaKlali, like the source of all Yetzer Haras, and this is something that Rabbi Nachman would often talk about, about the emptiness, the emptiness of this Yetzer Hara. He said once, I think it's even in Sichos Haran itself, that he says that a mensch for filter shah of Hana is mafsid sein the ganze Olam haba and ganze Olam haza. That for a quarter of an hour of pleasure, so a person could throw away his entire Olam haza, entire Olam haba, his entire this world, entire next world. Okay, but what's it mean? What's it mean to throw away the entire next world? It means that if a person is doing an avera that's going to take him down and just make him that he can't be, he's going to get depressed and he's going to be away from Hashem, and a person could also lose his entire Olam Haza. A person can lose his entire this world. A person can, if he's like cheating on his wife, so like it's gonna ruin his life. It's gonna ruin his marriage, and it's gonna be the end of his life because he has this idea that this is gonna make me happy. This is what I need, and I can't. And so he just ruined his life. He just for a quarter of an hour of pleasure. So all of he's gonna like fight to see his kids for the rest of his life and everything, and like. That he literally ruined his life. Literally ruined his life. And Rav Nachman is saying that you ruined your life in this world, and you also ruined your life in the next world. You're a complete loser. Why? Because you had this thing in your head that this is what's going to give me happiness. This is what's going to give me pleasure, and it doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't make you a happier person. I imagine that Rabbi Nachman, when he came to this whole realization, when he came to this whole Torah. So I imagine that the thing that got him thinking was specifically this, because I think that over here it's the most obvious that this Yetzer Hara is imagination. Like we started the class by saying that the Yetzer Hara, we need to give the Yetzer Hara a new name. The Yetzer Hara, it's not the Yetzer Hara, it's our imagination. And the whole reason why we do all the stupid things we do, it's all because of our imagination. Because it's not real. Because it's simply not real. I have a feeling that the thing that really got Rabbi Nachman thinking, the thing that really got got this idea was specifically sexual Yetzer Haras, because over there it's the most obvious that it doesn't get a person anywhere. It doesn't get the only thing that it gets the only thing that can get a person is a baby. Like that's usually if you're doing an avera, so you don't want a baby. So a person that it's so obvious that after you feel bad, you feel guilty, you feel empty, you feel it doesn't give you any pleasure, you feel stupid. If you ask people who are addicted to sex, addicted to porn, like what do you get from it? Are you like after you when you come home, when you finish, are you satisfied now? Do you feel that you're a happy man? Excuse me. Now, like, are you satisfied? Do you want to be like? Are you proud of this? Are you going to tell your kids this is something that if you want to have an enjoyable life, this is what they should do? Like, it's something that it doesn't get you anywhere. You end up in a worse place than you were before. And that's why people they go to rehab for these things. It's like it's something of the rules of life, and it doesn't get them anywhere. And the truth is that they do it because it's an escape. That they're doing it because they need this. It's not just temporary. It's a momentary. It's a momentary pleasure that doesn't serve a person, and it's a momentary escape, and so the truth is that you can divide the world into two parts. There's the real things and the fake things, and anything real is something which lasts, and anything which is fake is something that doesn't last. And so the things that are momentary pleasures, so they're fake, and anything which is physical is by definition momentary. Because anything physical is what it is, and after it's not here anymore, it's not here anymore. So then it's history. And so because it's momentary, it's fake. So it's really just simply not real. So you're living a not real life. You're living an imaginary, your alternative reality, which is actually not real. And on the other hand, so if we program ourselves to be looking for meaning, if we program ourselves to be looking for spirituality, if we're looking for things if we program ourselves to be looking for things that even after you did it, like nobody will look back at the hamburger that you had yesterday and say, "Wow, that was good." And like when you do something nice, when you do something that you're proud of, so then you can derive pleasure from that memory years later. That's something which is eternal. That's something.
My rabbi sends challah with garlic. I think about every time I go to her, and she never makes it. So I derive a lot of pleasure.
Okay.
It's like hamburger. Exactly.
No, that thing that you're describing is that you're thinking about it because you miss it, because your fake Yetzer Hara wants you to have it right now. I want to know that, do you ever just daydream on a Tuesday that amazing challah?
Yes. It's the best challah.
No, you don't. Yes, but you feel that you're craving it. You're not deriving pleasure from what you ate last time. You said, "I want it now."
Okay.
Right? I'm saying that to derive pleasure from the experience that you had then. Okay? So it's a big difference.
Okay.
Of course, the more that you have physical pleasure, the more you want more. I'm saying that you can't derive pleasure from the memory of it. Yeah? So this is really that if we want real things in life, if we want to fill our lives with real pleasure, if we want to be happy people, if we want to be satisfied people, so the first step is to really screw our heads on straight, to come to the understanding that what are we looking for in life? What are the things that are actually going to give us happiness? What are the things that are going to give us satisfaction? And to be very aware of the fact that the entire world is crazy. That we're constantly being bombarded with lies. We're constantly being bombarded with ideas that this is going to make you happy, money is going to make you happy, status is going to make you happy, that fancy stuff is going to make you happy. It's not. It's just a lie. That you can be a happy person without all of these things. And if you actually want to be a happy person, so the thing to look for is actually something else. It's really meaning. Like the Torah tonight was really not about. It's not how to look for meaning. That's like the teaching for tonight is to understand the emptiness of Yetzer Hara, to understand that Yetzer Hara is a big liar. He wants us to buy into this imaginary reality that it doesn't serve us. It flies in our face. It boomerangs, and just everybody's doing it, and nobody wants to leave. So then we keep on pretending that we're actually happy, and actually everybody's miserable. And so Rabbi Nachman is just saying, let's call a spade a spade. Let's realize that the emperor is naked, and it's a big lie. It's a big lie. So Baruch Hashem, we have Rabbi Nachman that's enlightening us and reminding us that let's be real, B'ezrat Hashem.